Mr. Speaker, my questions without notice are directed to the Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, very little else occupies our minds today, except for the 2022 national general elections. My questions relate to the preparedness of the PNG Electoral Commission to undertake this very important duty. Mr. Speaker, frequent, free, fair, legitimate, and transparent elections is the cornerstone of our constitutional democracy. The operative words are that elections are free, that they are fair, that they are legitimate, and they are transparent. Papua New Guinea has witnessed 12 national elections since the first House of Assembly in 1964. 3 using limited preferential voting system in 1964 to 1972, 6 from 1977 to 2002 were under the first past the post system. The next 3 from 2007 to 2017, it was back to the optional limited preferential voting. To 3 choices again. Mr. Speaker, we have before this Honorable House a report from the Constitutional and Law Reform Commission proposing drastic improvements to the way elections is carried out, and a proposed constitutional law to change the organic law for national and local government elections to introduce the first past the post system. Mr. Speaker, I wish to put on record that I commend the hard work the Constitutional and Law Reform Commission has put into producing a comprehensive report after a nationwide consultation process on our electoral process. It is noteworthy that this process has begun or was begun in 2018 by the O'Neill administration. I also note that this report and its recommendations are opposed to the other constitutional law change proposing a return to the first past the post voting system that is now before this House. Before somebody raises a point of order, I do acknowledge that it is private members.
You
I'm
make a
coming to
point
my
of order?
questions now. I'm coming to my questions now. You want the questions?
We have a point of order, Honorable Member.
What's the point of order?
About you. What person? You make a point of order?
Point of
Honorable
order,
Governor
Mr.
Logal, what's your point of order?
My point of order is very simple, and the learned member for Rabaul knows it very well. In the standing orders, it's very clear that where there is a legislation on a notice paper, you shall not speak on it or to it or refer to it until it is introduced on the floor. So his references in his question should be omitted by the chair, and he should just ask on the reforms. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Point of order, I'm in order. Also, you acknowledge him too. You don't, before anybody raises a point of order, you clearly say, Honorable Member of Rabaul. So, point of order, Honorable Governor of Logal, I mean, in order, so. You refresh him, ask him, Lou.
No, let me come to the question now.
Okay. You ask him.
The mention of that proposed amendment was just mention of it. It's not going to be questions on it. So my questions to the Prime Minister, not to Jawan. First question, Prime Minister, through you, Speaker. Is it true that the PNG Electoral Commission has exhausted its 2021 budget allocations and is sustained now by the technical support of the Government of Australia and other development partners like New Zealand and USA? Second question, is it true that the 2021 budget allocation of 12 million kina to undertake a nationwide revision of electoral roll data used in 2017 National Parliament and 2019 nationwide LLG elections has been used up in the 2020 Bougainville provincial elections? the 2021 Mosby Northwest by-elections, and the current inquiry into the number and sizes of open seats in Parliament undertaken by the Electoral Boundaries Commission. Third question, if the PNG Electoral Commission is having funding difficulties, I would like to ask whether or not any national electoral roll data update is going on at the present time. If not, when will it start? And is there ready funding for it? Fourth question, the CLRC report recommends the introduction of biometric voter registration for the 2022 elections, which will involve fingerprint identification. Does your government support the introduction of the biometric voter registration for Papua New Guinea in the 2022 national elections? Number 5 and second last question. If the government is going to introduce it, then when is the program starting? How much will it cost? And finally, sixth, are people trained to run the system across 6,400 wards in the country? And do we have time to adequately educate our people? Thank you, Mr. Speaker. There's no question on the amendment.
Honorable Prime Minister.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Me like to thank you, Member Blorabal, ask him this series of important questions. On 2022 election preparation, let me firstly upfront assure the Honorable Member, all members of Parliament and our country that our government will give best endeavors to ensure 2022 elections is conducted in the fairest manner possible for our country. It is our constitutional right for our citizens to exercise their right to choice of leadership, and we will give every possible support to the best of our ability to ensure the Electoral Commission does carry out their constitutional mandate without fear or without favor, and to deliver a good election for our country so that our country can produce the next generation of leaders through the election that is coming up in 2022. Our 2021 budget, in as far as Electoral Commission is concerned, what is budgeted for, our Treasury and Finance team continues to support the Electoral Commission. As I stand, I would not be adequately equipped to inform whether we, at what stage of the budget rollout for Electoral Commission. I will have to get back to the member in writing in as far as the 2021 use of the Electoral Commission budget is concerned. But I have not been given any indication that they're struggling for funds at the Electoral Commission. We are working with the Electoral Commission to ensure 2021 expenditure and 2022 expenditures work in sync and back to back. Most programs will overlap. For instance, the program on the Common Roll update. And the Electoral Commission has been instructed to work with other relevant state agencies like the provincial and local level government to mobilize all our councillors, work with the National Statistics Office to ensure what could have been an enumeration program by NSO is now being simplified, and people like him, all councillors, will get engaged in a basic population headcount update in September, October, November, December period. In the next 4 months, the balance of this year, there's a basic population update by councillors right across our electorate. The agencies, intergovernment agencies, are working, especially those agencies that I named, to arrive at population data which Electoral Commission could interface for the Common Roll data update early next year in January, February, March, as we await the issue of writ in April 28th next year. So all these things are being planned. There's an inter-government committee working to ensure elections are being planned. We also have advised that political parties, those who are represented on the floor of Parliament, as well as those who are not in Parliament, to be informed so they could be all part of the entire program and help educate and make awareness to our people on what people requirement are to contribute to election preparation for 22, especially the population data update and involvement at the council level and later at the verification of the voter roll. We don't have the luxury of money as it was in the past where we have NID requiring 200 million plus, the National Statistics Office requiring another 300 million plus, and Electoral Commission again requiring another 300 million plus, all in the same business of population data update. We're just trying to simplify, and hopefully the councillors could assist in the first step, getting population data. We verify them towards the end of the year, overlay with National Statistics Office in the work they do, and then the Electoral Commission can piggyback on this and verify those who are eligible to vote along with the last roll they have. So we have a better voter roll in April, May, July, June of next year that can be used for elections. So all this involved a lot of time and logistics. Time has run out on us, but the Electoral Commission has been working. Whatever we've budgeted for this year, we've thrown our support behind Electoral Commission. And the member also did ask, did the Mosby Northwest election subsume some of the allocations for this year? And there was a reference to the Electoral Boundaries Commission work. Well, Cabinet did approve some money for the Electoral Boundaries work, and the Electoral Boundaries work was supported and funded elsewhere. We're trying our absolute best to ensure Electoral Commission is not starved of fund that is required for them to prepare in 2021 as they migrate some activities into 2022 to deliver what we want as a fair election for all to contest in 2022. I give assurance to the member that a detailed report in all his 6 questions I'll write to him in writing for his record. Making reference to the biometric, Cabinet did also approve a recommendation from CLRC as well as Electoral Commission on this proposal for biometric. And hopefully it should arrive at 1 person, 1 vote. If not in 2022, then definitely as part of executive government plan beyond 2022, something that the nation must carry out. So in 2027, we have a biometric-based voting system, something similar to what is being deployed at India and other parts of the world. So people know they qualify to vote by the fact that they're identified in a biometric manner. This is a proposal that is sitting. It requires extensive funding and support. We may not have the funding required to go into this part ASAP, but we're working to see whether that could be used also going forward. I've spoken on a few occasions on this biometric voting. It allows for a better ID system at voting than the use and issuance of paper based on a common roll data that we usually have. We have strong view on getting the biometric system processed, and those again will be discussed at the Technical Working Committee. The Technical Working Committee will invite political leaders to come in and to also observe what is being worked. So it's a bipartisan approach instead of strictly an executive government function or Electoral Commission function. Electoral Commission has also invited out Transparency International as well as National Research Institute to be part of their work in program. So we all see that it's a planning that is fair under the circumstances we are facing and the resource envelope that is available. So it will be a whole of government approach, a whole of parliament approach, a bipartisan approach, and we'll get all these key community-based organizations to also be part of us. So hopefully when we arrive in April 28, 2022, the environment is fair for all candidates to nominate. And by the time we conclude in June of 2022, the environment is fair for all our citizens to cast a vote for the leaders of their choice. Thank you very much, Mrs.